Yo, normally I would upload my Hitman podcast thing here, but I feel like so little happened in Hitman this month that it ended up just being me rambling for 3 hours and playing poorly, and just didn't feel like it was worth an upload. So I figured I'd just summarize the interesting stuff on a separate video. So first, the update. They added a sniper chamber reload speed indicator, which you can barely see on this tiny screenshot. And I don't know who asked for this. To me, this and a bunch of the other changes that they made to the UI lately tells me that their UI team either has too much time or they don't have their priorities straight, if this is what we're getting. I feel like they should finally start tackling the big issue of displaying trespassing zones on the minimap, which they have previously said that that is technically very difficult and the minimap is not designed for that. But maybe they should start redesigning it if this is what they're spending their time on. Or at least make the minimap colors more readable so it's not just white dots on a light gray background. I feel like it was much better in Hitman 2016. Then we have Not That Fast. They made it so that the exit mission prompt doesn't become available until 3 seconds after the last kill. And I think this is a good change, because it prevents you from just standing at the exit and killing the target and exiting before anyone has a chance to find the body, even if, well, watch my run of Illusions of Grandeur. That highlights why this was an issue. The funny thing about this is that they already fixed this exact issue like 3 years ago in Hitman 2016, and then they only recently changed it back in April. And I was wondering if they just forgot why they had a fix for that in place to begin with, and just removed it, and now they remembered again. Granted, I think the prompt not appearing for 3 seconds is a better fix than you getting penalized for exiting too quickly like it was before, but still, this got a good laugh out of me. Oh, what else? It's like very minor things that I don't really care much about. Bartoli 12G. So in Bank they had a sawn-off shotgun, except it didn't really work, so they made it not sawn off. And now they made it sawn off again. And you're supposed to be able to start with that in your inventory. And they say that it's concealable. I have to disagree. Now, event security will keep a watchful eye on suspicious activity. This is not suspicious. So yeah, you can start with the shotgun, but you cannot conceal it. And you can have it with you on any starting location. There's a few funny ones. I would recommend the Paris default start. That is obviously pretty funny. The Miami Flamingo one is good. And there's a few good ones in the Bank if you want to check out some really good starting locations with the shotgun. Yeah, ultimately meaningless, but very amusing. And Hokkaido Morgue, similar thing here. But yeah, they fixed an issue that could cause 47 to be immediately spotted when starting the mission in the morgue. Yeah. In all fairness, I wasn't spotted, but this doesn't look quite right. I think the Sapienza morgue has a similar issue. But yeah, that's more amusing than it is meaningful. Yeah, that's basically the update. Nothing really big change. There's no fixes to the rating system, which is at the moment busted still since November. No new features, no anything. I mean, I guess they also listed a few things that they are aware of that are somewhat important, like um, assassin rating is lost when a body that has been knocked out by an accident is found. So they are aware of that accident KOs don't work, which is interesting because elsewhere they said that they were never supposed to work and it was a bug that they worked, but they are now committing to the bug because people like it, which is a good sign, because in 2016 they often just fix the bugs even if people like them. So hey, at least they're doing that, even if it is a strange case. And fire extinguishers no longer explode when an explosive is detonated near them. Sure. Also, people apparently, I haven't experienced this firsthand, but apparently people just don't vomit in toilets anymore. They always just look for trash cans, something like that. So they are aware of these things. Cool. And then we have the roadmap. Simmons concussion escalation. This actually came out last month. Very easy escalation, but actually an okay one. If you have like 15 minutes to spend, that's a decent choice. Best case scenario was actually a pretty good for a challenge pack. I don't typically like challenge packs. I think they end up being a waste of time because there's no challenges in them. But this one actually had a couple of good ones. You had one where you had to knock out 6 guards and hide their bodies without getting spotted. I like that. That's a good one. And you had one where you had to disguise yourself as or wear the burial robes and transfer a briefcase from the morgue to the crypt, I think. And because the briefcase prevents you from climbing around, it actually made for a pretty interesting challenge. It was clever. I like it. The other 2 challenges, not so much. Was basically just shoot a thing from starting location or wait for NPC to walk to a spot and press a button. But hey, 50-50, that's better than almost any other challenge pack. Also the unlockable, which is the physics bending, very slowly flying briefcase. I think that it was the best way they could have handled that item. And I'm glad it's back in the game. Even I think it's even slower than it used to be. But yeah, this was overall a positive surprise right here. Body Tranquility Escalation. Level 1, you set up a theme nicely. Something that couldn't be done in a contracts mode. I like it. Level 2, you introduce another target and a unique objective. The target was good. The objective was good. I still like the escalation. And level 3, you introduce a new complication that really does mix up the previous levels. But you also add a target that just sucks ass and ruins the whole thing. Unless there's something I don't know about that target, he just turned out to be an awful piece of shit and made me not finish this escalation. Didn't touch any of this. The Scarlet Deceit escalation, basically just figure out where X item is and sneak into whatever this room is. I honestly didn't find it interesting. I stopped about halfway through. I don't think I even attempted level 3. Nothing too interesting there. And people with the gold edition got the Smart Casual pack, which is a reskin, and I see a flash phone, which I think is actually a really cool item. Because the phone is probably the best distraction item in the game, as you can delay people for a lengthier period of time. First they go for the sound, then they start answering it, and with the other phones then they die. But if you just want to distract them, this is a much better item. And I think it fits the game much better than the other 2, because the explosive phone was fucking excessive. I feel like that could have been cool if it had been like a small explosion, something similar to a breaching charge. But instead it's the massive explosion that just alerts everybody and is super counterintuitive. And then you have the electrocution phone, which is just insanely strong and not exactly fun to use, in my opinion. This one, however, I can see this being an interesting item to use. But yeah, that's basically this month in Hitman. Not much went on. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.